Salam sejahtera, sir. My name is Navin, and I'm part of the member of this group too. And what have I done for this project is that I've implemented three classes, which is club, transcript, and also hostel. So, firstly, we'll go with club. So, the kind of concept club uses is array list. So, as we can see here, we have an array list of student members. So what it does is that it keeps the instances of students. So as we can see here, there are constructors to initialize the object state, and here, as we can see here below here, adding and removing. Adding and removing are the methods that I use to access the array list. And below here, it's all about returning the description, the name, and the members. Moving on. Okay, hostel is pretty simple because it uses the concept of accesses and mutators. So in this constructor, it's also again it initializes, and the reason I'm using this name equals name is to distinguish this variable with the argument that's inside here. And what it does is that it returns uh, get the getters will return, the setters will set the names. And moving on. Okay, as we can see here, transcript is a bit complex because it uses two types of concepts. One would be, again, array list, and secondly, it would be interface. Whenever we are using implementation, it will always it's like we are creating an interface where we can access it. So array list, the array list here, it has all the details of the grades, and enrolled cost. It goes the same. It goes likewise to the enrolled cost as well. So again, we make a constructor, we return, and these are the calculation parts that I use to calculate the CGPA, and that's pretty much it, sir.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Daniel Nur Irfan, and today I will be presenting the parts that I am responsible for in this project, which is these three classes that I'll be explaining. Okay, starting from the first one, which is the advisor class. Okay, I'll be making it short. Okay, the three classes that I am responsible for, which is the advisor class, professor class, and student class, all use some similar concept, similar way that they apply the concept. The first one, which is inheritance, where these three classes will inherit from the person class. And that's the first concept. Okay, moving to the next concept, which is encapsulation. I'll be saying encapsulation first, where there will be private fields for each of these classes. Each of these three classes, there will be a private field, and those private fields can be accessed with the getter and setter methods. Okay, with the getter and setter methods. And then moving to the next one, which is polymorphism. All of these three classes have the display role method, where this method will be overridden to provide specific functionality based on the class, based on the class. Okay. And the fourth one, it also applies the constructor, where this class will be initialized with specific values. Okay. And okay, as I said before, those concepts also are implemented in these three classes, and it's a bit similar. So moving to the professor class, okay, here, professor class, also the same, it applies the inheritance concept, it also applies the encapsulation concept just the same way, and also applies the polymorphism concept also the same way. But for the constructor, it's a bit different, where it also initialize for this courses taught list. Okay, also initialize this. Not only the professor class that will be initialized, but also this for this list. Okay, then moving to the next class, which is the what we call student class. Also the same, it implements the inheritance concept, same way, encapsulation concept also same way, polymorphism concept also the same way, and the constructor, yeah, also the same, but this enroll course will be in some kind of list. Okay. But for this class, there's a bit addition, okay, where it also uses the interface implementation. As you can see here, it implements the course management interface, and then it will be applied here in the view enroll courses method. By this way, this method can implement the interface that is stated here. Okay, and not only that, there are also some method invocations applied in this class, where you can see here. Um, you can see methods like join club, leave club, and also enroll course, drop course. Okay, all of these they are using the method invocation concept so that it can perform various actions. Okay, and so all of these three classes are applied in the main method. Throughout the main method, it applies here. So there will be objects initialized so that we can run the code and make sure that it functions as we intend. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Adam and I'm from group number 2, and today I'll be presenting about our group project. So actually our group project is actually a university management system, which basically imagine like you have a system where a student can pretty much manage everything, the needs of his inside the system. That could be enrolling hostel, a course, assigning advisor, or even like to check his transcript and all that. So it's a one in all place for a university student management system. So that is what we are aiming here. So for my class that I did three classes, which is class course and also class course catalog and also class department. And I'm gonna briefly explain the some of the OOP concept that I use, not all but some. Starting we have the composition here, which is the composition with student. It's a strong association, so that means course and students one cannot live without the other. But when it comes to associating, they are much weaker. So that means that one can live without the other. The destroyer of the a whole of an object, the part of it can still live without the whole, right? And so here we can see we are applying composition and association, and we're also applying an array list here. So an array list is actually one of the concept in OOP, which is basically a dynamic array. Like we don't set the amount of element that can be inside an array, so because it's dynamic, right? Next thing, we also have all these functions, set and get and all that. But in course catalog, we actually apply a sort of like an array, just like a normal array. Like you have an array like a fixed number, and we turns out that in the main function we actually put this around 5. So we maximize the number of cores that can be displayed or can be taken, which is around 5. And so this is the difference between a dynamic array list and a static array, where a static array you define how much element that can be inside the array list. Inside the array, sorry. So that is the third, that's the fourth OP concept that we apply. And I think for department it's pretty much the same. You're still applying an array list. So we're not putting a specific number on how many courses or professor that can be associated with the department. It can be infinite. It can be as much as they can be. And here we're using add course and course, just to be able to add and remove course. So right now I'm going to do the demo presentation to see how this whole thing works. So let me just run this thing.
Hello, my name is Surin, and we'll continue with the next class in our program, which is the class person, which is an abstract class. An abstract class means that we can't access the class using objects alone. We need to access the class by using inheritance. So here we got three variables: name, email, and phone number, which are private, and we will use the constructor to initialize the variables. So here we got three accesses: get name, get email, and get phone number, which will return the name, email, and phone number values. And here we got three mediators: set name, set email, and set phone number, which will set the name, email, and phone number values. Here we got the abstract method named display role. The method body is empty because the method will be defined in the inheritor class. Okay, so next we'll carry on with the university class. So here we got quite a few variables. We have a string variable university name, we have a array of objects named departments. We have 3 array lists: students, professor, advisors, an integer value named number of departments, and an array list named hostels. So in the constructor, we will initialize the university name value, and for the departments array, we will initialize the maximum value using the max departments value, and we'll initialize the hostels array list. Then we will have a few accesses to which will return the university name, the department's array of objects, the student's array list, the professor array list, and the advisor's array list. So in the add department, we will receive a integer value for index and a department object named department. So after checking if the index is valid, we will insert the department value into the array according to the index value. In the remove department method, we have a department object named department to remove, and we have an integer value named index to remove. So this for loop is to traverse the departments array. If the value from the department array is equals to the object sent to the method, then the index will be equals to the index of the value we found just now. Next, so this if function is to shift the whole array forward. That means while traversing the array, the department value that you found just now, it will shift forward. That means it will plus 1. This will effectively remove the current value. Next, we will reduce the number of departments. Okay, so here we have a add student and remove student methods. So here we will use the dot add and dot remove functions from the array list. So dot add, we can add the student object. Dot remove, we can remove the student object from the students array list. Same thing for professor, we will add professor and remove professor. We will use the dot add to add professor object and remove to remove the professor objects. Same thing with advisor, and the same thing with hostel here. Here, this is an accessor. We will return the hostels array list. Next, in the grade class, we have 4 variables: grade ID, student, course, and grade, all private. And in the constructor, we will initialize those values. And here we have accesses to return grade ID value, student value, course value, and grade value. And here we have a setter to set the grade value. And here we have a accessor to access the GPA value. It will return the GPA value. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so let's just choose our welcome to University Management System. Let's choose our university. Oh, there's a lot of them. Okay, I'm just gonna choose UTM as number 1, and then choose hostel. Let's say I want to live in hostel KTDI. I'm gonna go with 1. By the way, all this available thing, they're actually in the TXT file. So that's also another concept that we apply in this whole project, is that we use TXT and CSV file. So, and then we're gonna use department. So I'm gonna be from Faculty of Computing. And then advisor, I'm gonna say this is Miss Mas. So I'm gonna take number 3. And then number 5, I'm gonna register course. First, I'm gonna put my name first, Adam Fahmi. And then I'm gonna put adm@gmail.com. And then 0325. And then I'm gonna put my student ID. Okay, so now I'm gonna register the first course. I have to put the course ID first. Every course has this. Say PT2. And then I'm gonna say it's a 4 credit, and just say enter. Okay, so then I say, I want to register one more course, and I'm going to say CR2304, and let's say this is computer network. Okay, then I'm just going to do short form here. Okay, and I'm going to say is Madam Hazina. Alright, so now let's say I'm going to view my enroll course, and let's say, I can say 2 courses already registered, both with their own properties. And let's say I want to drop a course, and let's say I don't want to take Madam Hazina class, so I just put the 2304, and I say drop, and it's already been dropped. Okay, so now let's say I want to see my results in GPA. Let's say I want to, for PT2, assuming I got an A, right? Now let's say I'll try to put something that is not there, something that I put 3403. You can say, it's an error, you can't do it because you're not enrolling the course, so how can you get the result for that course? So that's one of the error catching system that we have. And lastly, I'm going to join a club, and let's say I want to join, accounting club number 9, and I'm going to say I want to be a president of it. Okay, so now we can display our full student details. This is all the details that we key in just now: the name, the email, the university, the department, who's the admin is, the details of the admin, the club membership. So it display everything that we enter in just now. Okay, so with that in mind, if you want to see the course, you can still see the course here. Right, so with that in mind, that is pretty much the brief example of how a system works. Again, like I said, it's a one-in-all management system, and yeah, I think this is pretty much a good system that allows students to manage everything all at once instead of having many systems. So press 0, and then we exit, and then that's it, we're done. So yeah, that's all from my team. Thank you very much.